Patrick McGinty. Patrick McGinty, defining moment.
We all have defining moments in our lives. Moments that can change the course of our history and help shape the person that we become. We grow up listening to our parents, our teachers, friends, coworkers, colleagues, and they all can have an influence over our life decisions. And if we're not careful, we can be shackled by what is known, what is safe, and what is doable, while fearing the unknown, the risky, and the seemingly impossible. Tonight, I want to share with you a defining moment in my life that has shaped who I am today and has helped lead me to a rich life experience and memories. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. I grew up in a working class family. My parents had 8th grade educations. They worked hard, they provided, and their idea of an adventurous vacation was to drive 20 miles to Grandma's house. My parents wanted the best for me. They wanted me to graduate high school, learn a trade, get a job, get married, have kids, buy a house in the neighborhood, and live happily ever after. I loved my parents. I just didn't want to be my parents. I wanted something more, something different. I didn't know what. I didn't know how. After graduating high school, I went into the United States Marine Corps, and from there on to college. And it was while I was in college, I took a class called The History of Ideas, where I studied contemporary Soviet society. And I was fascinated. This was the late 80s, and glasnost and perestroika and Gorbachev was going on. I was fascinated. Also, just a couple of years before, I was training to go to war with these people. Now I'm fascinated by them. After the class, I heard there was another professor putting together a winter study in the Soviet Union. And I really wanted to go, but I've never been out of the United States. So I thought, I think I'll call my mom, see what she thinks. And it went something like this. Hello, Mom? I heard there's a professor putting together a winter study in the Soviet Union. I really want to go. What do you think? My mom's response? First, there was an eerie silence. And then, what are you, crazy? And then she started spewing all this anti-communist rhetoric that would have made Joseph McCarthy blush. I was taken aback by her strong opposition. I didn't want to upset my mom. But then, bing, a light bulb moment, a defining moment. I realized something. If I want to be different than my parents, then I must do different things. And if different means crazy, then whenever my parents say something's crazy, that meant do it! So I got back on the phone, I said, Mom, thank you for your opinion. I'm going to the Soviet Union, and I'll tell you how it is when I get back. Click. And I went to the Soviet Union, and it was a tremendous, eye-opening educational experience. Some of the highlights included sharing vodka with Red Army soldiers, having tea with Russian generals, hobnobbing with the Soviet mafia before they were dangerous, and then meeting many other fascinating people in Soviet society during all that change. It was an awesome experience. I thought, I like these crazy ideas. I think I need to come up with some more new crazy ideas. And when I needed a little bit more motivation, I thought, I'll call my parents. Hello, Mom? I'm thinking about flying around the world. What, are you out of your mind? Yes. Hey, Dad, I'm thinking about teaching English in Japan. When do you get a real job? Hello, Mom? I'm thinking about living in Alaska. What are you, a nut? I don't think you're from this family. On and on and on. I was my parents' worst nightmare. But I was being being different, and I was being the person who I wanted to be, and that was most important to me. Now, this defining moment didn't just affect my personal life. It also affected my professional life. Because in my early 30s, I had a great job. Director of International Relations for a university on the East Coast. And my boss had just told me he wanted to promote me to Director of all Asian operations. Fly me to Germany, Kenya, and an extended stay in Bali. Boy, my colleague Bob Cravens must have been a little surprised when we went to lunch, and I said, you know, Bob, I'm thinking about quitting my job because what I really want to do is climb mountains in the Great Northwest. How did Bob react? First, it was an eerie silence. And then, what are you, crazy? That was like the good housekeeping seal of approval. You know, Bob, I think I am. So I gave my work 3-month notice, and I left that position, and I got ribbing for 3 months of how crazy and stupid I was. But you know, I went and I climbed those mountains, and I never regret a day of it. So in summary, we all have defining moments in our lives. And when we do, we can choose one of 2 roads. The first road is the road that is known, that is safe, and that is doable. And most of your family and friends will say, take that road. Your colleagues, that's the road you should take. And then there's the second road. And the second road is the road less traveled. And that's the road that is unknown, risky, and seemingly impossible. And most of your friends and family and colleagues will say, you're crazy to take that road. Now, when someone calls you crazy, don't be sad. Be glad. Because it's been my experience that a defining moment and someone has called me crazy, that's been nothing but a harbinger of good things to come. Mr. Toastmaster.